All right, it's a little before noon on February 26th, 2016, and I decided that before welding in this end cap to go ahead and chelate the sheet metal, particularly around where the glue is going to go, because I'd like to be able to epoxy prime that so that so we know we're in good shape and getting good adhesion and whatnot. And just started it up, so not much has happened yet, but we'll see the more gray take over from the brown as things progress. This is an old batch of Evaporate-O-Rust that I had from several months back. The throttle pedal and emergency brake had been soaking in the 5-gallon bucket for a couple of months. It's cold. It's only going to be like 72 today, so the Evaporate-O-Rust won't work very well at that temperature, but I have a hot plate under here that now that I've gone through, you can see I had some spillage, and that's really the trick with this when you're doing large areas, is you've got to take the time to eliminate any loss. So like I put a little cutting board here to give the fluid a ramp down because it was escaping out of the front, and I might have a little bit of leak in there in the back, so I'll go chase that down. But this is a old batch. I have a new batch of Evaporate-O-Rust coming. I really think that the Esprit is better, but this is like $82 on Amazon Prime. It'll be delivered tomorrow on Saturday. It already has the 4 gallons of distilled water that I'd have to buy, and so it's just, this is more convenient. So we'll see if the flash rusting that I was getting was just an anomaly before. So I'm going to look at the back over there, and then if everything is looking good, I'll go ahead and see about using my hot plate to get this up. You can apparently take it up to about 140 degrees, which of course would be dangerous, but the hotter it is, it's a chemical reaction, so the faster it reacts. But I'm really just using this as kind of a first pass treatment. What I'll want to do is this should take out the bulk of the surface rust, which is obviously along the bottom, and then with the new fluid we'll do another pass, and but with a focus on spraying up so that the whole area is covered. And then I have silver chassis saver paint, which is like POR 15, and to paint the insides of the sills so that if there is any residual rust, hopefully that'll encapsulate it up good and we never have to worry about it again. Not that, I mean, it's car's 45 years old, and it really doesn't have that much rust, so it'll all be good. I had washed off the throttle pedal and the emergency brake. You see they came out all nice and clean. The throttle pedal doesn't move very easy. I think it's the base plate is bent. Yeah, you can see that it's bent, so the hinges don't line up very well. So we'll have to look at that. And on the emergency brake, as you'll recall, the area in the transmission tunnel behind this was all rusted out. I'm not sure if that's a little grounding strap or what, but it had obviously rusted really badly, and that all washed away with the rest of the rust. Let's see, still some paint down there, Evaporate-O-Rust, and the chelates don't touch the paint. Alright, well, we have got all of our leakage resolved, and I went ahead and turned on the hot plate. There's the faint smell of burning plastic because on my first attempt last year of using that, I tried one of the orange 5-gallon buckets from Home Depot, assuming that the fluid inside would modulate the heat. Turned out that that was incorrect. And so the last little tiny bits of plastic are burning off, but you can barely smell it. And you can see we've got to get the temperatures up because we're only at 68, and this stuff is supposed to require about 75. So I'm slowly taking the heat up, and we'll just let it go for the next several hours and see how it goes. It is working. See underneath the water you get the little stripes. So hopefully once we get it up to about 115, 120, it'll really start clearing it up good. Alright, I think it's probably around 330. And the thing is getting some heat in it now. Where the fluid comes out, about the same. And it is hard to, you can see where the rust is being removed. Looking all nice and clean. So this is not a dip it in and pull it out and it's done kind of a thing. It takes time, especially when the stuff is cool, and in our case probably mostly used up. They say you can run it till it's black like oil, which we're not there yet, but you know, marketing. So it's been going for 3 hours, so it's really just now getting to a temp where it should be being active. So we'll just let it run until it's time to go to bed and then start up again tomorrow. Alright, it's 4:15. The temperatures come up, 87 now, 86 in that area. So that should make it effective. Though not optimal. Closer to 110, 120 is optimal. So I just inching up the heating plate knob a little bit at a time. You can see that it is working. You see the clean metal there. They apparently dip these things, the bottom of the chassis, in some kind of a black primer. I think that's what you see there towards the back. In the front here, I think that's still rust in some pits. That's the area near where we patched. The patch is down there at the edge of the fluid. So it's getting up the temp, it's working well. The other thing I did was I set up my monitoring camera that we bought to make sure that Blaze didn't let Sandy starve to death. And I set it so that it's pointing at the bucket, because the big risk with this is you develop a leak somewhere and you lose all the fluid, and one, that's $100, and two, then you have a hot plate heating an empty bucket with a plastic pump with electricity in it. Could all be really bad. So I'm just gonna keep letting this chug away. The sill holds the water in pretty well. Got a little bit of leakage there, and then at the back where I've got to put that little patch. And then we got this one here. Regardless, the pump just the one pump before I was using two, was able to keep a fair amount of liquid in there. I have a suspicion that if I sealed this up with my patch and put the adhesive, that I could fill that sill up. Anyway, just gonna let it go. All right, it's 8:45. Let's see what temperature we got. Looks like we're running about 96. Don't have any appreciable leaks. And see there how it's cleaning it up. Again, it just takes time, and like I said, this stuff is old. But it's getting the metal all cleaned up good. But obviously we have a lot of space to cover, and this is probably not the best way. What I really need is like a hose that then sprays up. But that would take a higher pressure pump than my little fountain guy here, which I actually do have. So I might have to think about that. Maybe use funny tubing with some holes cut in it. I don't know. I'll think about it. But you have to think about it. So I'll let this run until I go to bed, and then I'll shut it off. Alright, it's about 9 p.m. so it's been running about 8 or 9 hours, probably 7 at a reasonable temperature. And you can see how it's really cleaned the metal up. Still more to go, but it's done a nice job.